Hi everyone, I'm going to discuss percentage, base, and rate. But before we proceed with working on problems pertaining to the three terms, let's do some conversion, particularly for percent. Okay, so when we say percent, this is the number of hundreds of a certain number. So percent is a fraction or decimal with the denominator equal to 100. Now, in other words, the percent sign means hundreds. To use percent in arithmetic application, they must first be changed to a decimal or fraction. Now, for this example, we want to change each value to decimals. So what we're going to do is to simply drop the percent symbol and then move the decimal part two places to the left, or we simply divide the value by 100. Now, if the percent is in fractional units, first we have to change the fraction to decimal before we move the decimal part. So in number one, we drop the symbol, percent symbol, and then we move the decimal point to two times going to the left. So this is 1, 2. So this is now equal to 0.20 or 0.2. For this, so drop this percent symbol, move the decimal point to the right, 1, 2. Then we have 0.00003, which is equal to 0.003%. And then since the percent is in fractional units, we have to convert 1/8 to decimal, and that is done by dividing 1 by 8. And this is equal to 0.125%. And that's the time that we drop this symbol and then move two decimal places going to the left. So 1 and then 2. So we now have 0.00125. No. So there's no percent anymore. So we now have 0.00125 equivalent to 18%. Now, if we are going to this time convert decimal to percent, so we will just do the reverse steps from the previous example. So what we're going to do is to move the decimal part two places going to the right, and then we will annex, of course, the percent symbol. Or we simply multiply the decimal by 100 and then annex again the decimal, the percent symbol. So we have 1, 2. So this is now 18%. For this, 1, 2. So we now have 3,450%. And then 1, 2 here. So we have 0.2%. Okay? And then we're going to reduce each decimal to a common fraction. Now, it's necessary if you know how to read each decimal value. Like for number 1, this is read as 90 hundredths. Okay? So in reducing decimal to a common fraction, we have to write the decimal number by disregarding the decimal point as the numerator of a common fraction with the denominator, which is power of 10. Okay, so for number 1, since this is read as 90 hundredths, so the numerator is 90, and then we consider the place value hundredths, so this is over 100. And then we simplify, so this is equal to 9 over 10. Likewise, for 0.25, this is 25 hundredths, and divide both numerator and denominator by the greatest common factor to simplify that, so we have 1/4. And then this is read as 358 thousandths. So I guess the greatest common factor between the numerator and the denominator is 2. So as we divide both by 2, so we have 179 over 500. Now, in converting each value to a fraction, we just drop the percent symbol. Then we will multiply each by 1/100, and we will do reducing the fraction to its lowest term. So we drop this, and then we multiply 76 by 1/100. So this is 76/100 to its lowest term. So this is 19/25. So for 1/8, so we will divide 1, or we will simply multiply 1/8 by 1/100. So we have 1/800. For 156, since 156 will be multiplied to 1/100, so this is like 156/100. Now, we don't need to convert this to mixed form. We just have to simplify that or reduce that to its lowest term. And I think the common factor between the two is 4. So we have 39/25 here. Now, in converting each fraction to percent, we have to convert each fraction first to decimal and then convert to percent. So as we convert each fraction to decimal, we just have to divide the numerator by the denominator. And then we have, for example, here 1 divided by 20 is 0.05. So we know that converting decimal to percent will just require us to move 2 decimal places going to the right and then annex the percent symbol. So this is 5%. So likewise here, 1 divided by 5 is 0.2. So we just have to move 2 decimal places going to the right. So we have 1, 2. So we now have 20%. For 3/4, 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. And then we move 2 decimal places going to the right. 1, 2. Then annex the percent symbol. So we have 75%. Now, as we did the conversion, so the next thing that we're going to do is to apply those conversion in solving for the percent, base, and rate problem. So when we say percentage, base, and rate, so particularly percentage is a number expressed as a percent of some other number. So it is the product of the base multiplied by the rate. Now, the percentage in the problem is actually the portion of the whole, and that whole is considered as the base. And the base is the number upon which the percent is computed, and it is usually preceded by the preposition of in word problem. So when we say, and that preposition denotes multiplication. And lastly, the rate is usually in the form of decimal or in fraction. That's why in the initial discussion, so I've mentioned that it's necessary that we should know how to convert the rate in decimal or in fraction form, because we cannot right away compute or make use of the percent value. Instead, we make use of its equivalent decimal or fraction value. So let's work on each problem here. So example 1, what number is 30% of 520? So this is preceded by the preposition of. So we assume that this is the base and this is the rate. So we're asked to solve for the percentage, and percentage equals base times rate. So substituting the given in the problem, so this is 520 times 0.3. So 30% when converted to decimal is 0.3. So this is equal to 156. Okay. So that's solving for percentage. Now, 1/2 of 80 pesos is how much? So again, this is preceded by the preposition of. So this is the base, and then 1/2 is the rate. So we're going to solve for the percentage, and this is base times rate again. So we have 80 times 1/2. Now you don't need to convert 1/2 to decimal. So it's either the rate, if either is rate is converted into fraction or decimal, that would be fine. So we know that, of course, 1/2 of 80 is 40 pesos, and this is the value of the percentage. So we have number 3, what number is multiplied by 6% equals 90? So This is equals is equivalent to is. So this is now the percentage while this is the rate, and we are actually solving for the base. And the base is equal to percentage all over the rate. So substituting the given in the problem. So this is 90 divided by 0.06, because we know that 6% equals 0.06. So we divide 90 by 0.06. We have 1,500 pesos. So we have 1,500 pesos. Okay, next. So for 220 pesos is 2/5 of what amount? So here, this is preceded by of. So again, we're asked to solve for the base. And again, the base is equal to P over R. So the percentage is 220 divided by 2/5. So when 220 is divided by 2/5, we have 550 here. And then for number 5, there are 12 working students from a class of 50. Determine the rate of working students in the class. So very clearly, R is asked in the problem. And R is equal to percentage all over the base. Or if you remember this formula, okay, so when you cover R, so R equals P over B. But we want to express the answer in percent, so we have to multiply the result by 100%. So the percentage is 12, and then we divided by 50 times 100%. So that is equal to 24%. And then lastly, what portion of 80 is 8? So this is referring to R, solving for R. And this is the base, while this is the percentage. So again, R equals P over B times 100%. So we have 8 over 80 times 100%, and this equals 10%. So that's how we work on percentage, base, and rate. I hope that you are able to understand my lecture for today. So bye for now.